What if SpongeBob is hiding a dark secret, a tale of twisted experiments, abandoned projects, and the haunting consequences of humans' actions? Today I'll be talking about a theory that will make you view SpongeBob with a whole different light. So keep watching because this isn't your average day under the sea.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
To understand this theory, we have to start with the real world's location that inspired Bikini Bottom, Bikini Atoll. Located in the Pacific Ocean, Bikini Atoll was the site of over 20 nuclear tests conducted by the United States during the Cold War era. These tests left the island irradiated and uninhabitable for decades. But what if the tests weren't just about bombs? Rumors have circulated for years about secret military projects aimed at using animals in warfare, from spy dolphins to genetically modified creatures designed for combat. Imagine a world where the government didn't stop at land or air, but took their experiments deep into the ocean, seeking to weaponize marine life in ways we can't even imagine. Officially, the projects were about nuclear dominance, but whispers in the classified documents hint at a darker undertaking. Underwater labs, genetic modifications, and in my opinion, attempts to create super intelligent sea creatures. These were the real missions hidden beneath the cover of weapon testing, and this is where our story truly begins. The military's goal was to create sea creatures that could assist in naval operations, spying, sabotaging enemy ships, and delivering explosives. They started with simple genetic enhancements, but as the Cold War tensions rose, so did their ambition. They moved on to more radical experiments, introducing radiation into the mix to accelerate mutations, but instead of the controlled enhancements they hoped for, the creatures began to mutate unpredictably. Fish grew legs, crabs developed an unnatural obsession with material goods, and sponges, well, they gained emotions.
I'll take care of you, 'cause you and me, we're like brothers, only closer.
Among these unfortunate subjects were the ancestors of what would become SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and the rest of Bikini Bottom's residents. Overexposed to radiation and experimental chemicals, these creatures began to develop not just human-like intelligence, but exaggerated personalities driven by their mutated traits. As the experiments continued, the military found themselves unable to control the mutating sea creature. The mutations were too unpredictable, the creatures too unstable, so the government had to make a drastic decision. They abandoned the project, leaving the creatures to live for themselves in the toxic waters of Bikini Atoll. But rather than dying off, these creatures adapted. They formed their own society, building a community from the scraps and ruins of the failed experiments. Welcome to Bikini Bottom, a town built from the remains of humans' actions. Let's take a closer look at the main characters, each representing a different mutation and the unintended consequences of the experiments. Let's start off with SpongeBob. SpongeBob was designed to be an ideal worker, tireless, enthusiastic, and capable of completing any task without question. But his mutation took things too far. Instead of a disciplined worker, he became an over-enthusiastic, nearly maniac character who can't stop working, whether it's flipping a Krabby Patty or cleaning his house at all hours. He was programmed to be perpetually useful, but the result was a sponge with an unrelenting need to please and an almost pathological fear of disappointing anyone. Next up we have Patrick. Patrick was intended to be a stealthy infiltrator, using his natural camouflage abilities to blend into environments and gather intelligence. Instead, his mutation led him to turn into a dim-witted and almost always confused starfish. Patrick's lack of understanding when it comes to the simplest concepts or to react appropriately to danger isn't just played for laughs. It's a reminder of the experiment's failure to create something useful.
What does claustrophobic mean?
It means he's afraid of Santa Claus.
No, it doesn't.
Ho, ho, ho!
Stop it, Patrick, you're scaring him!
But what about Squidward? Squidward was meant to be a disciplined, obedient soldier, perhaps even a leader among the sea creatures. His enhancements were supposed to make him strategic, with heightened intelligence and problem-solving skills. But instead of creating a leader, the mutations left him with a heightened sense of resentment, dissatisfaction, and anger. Squidward is forever trapped in a state of bitterness, unable to appreciate anything around him because his programming was warped. And that leaves us with Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs' mutations were intended to create a creature with a sharp sense of value and resource management, ideal for finding and protecting valuable resources like food or treasure. But something went terribly wrong. Instead of a resourceful guardian, Mr. Krabs becomes a creature obsessed with money to an unhealthy degree. He prioritizes profit over anything, even his own well-being or the safety of others. His greed isn't just a personality trait, it's a malfunction of his original purpose. And finally, we have Plankton. Plankton was intended to be a master saboteur, capable of undermining enemy operations and sowing chaos behind enemy lines. But his mutation didn't grant him the strategic mind the military hoped for. Instead, it left him with a one-track obsession to outdo Mr. Krabs, to the point of self-destruction. His endless schemes to steal the Krabby Patty formula are the glitch in his programming, a failure loop that he can never break free from, no matter how hard he tries.
At long last! And the secret formula is 1 bottle of molting lotion.
And the show also leaves us some hints. Even SpongeBob's iconic pineapple house might not be what it seems. It could be a remnant of an experiment, an unnatural home in an unnatural environment. And remember the episode where SpongeBob and Squidward deliver a pizza, finding themselves in an eerie landscape that feels completely detached from the usual bright setting of the show? It's as if they're momentarily stepping outside of their constructed world into the remnants of the reality they were meant to serve. So what does this all mean for Bikini Bottom? Well, it's not just a quirky world for laughs. It's a society built on the ruins of a failed experiment, where each resident's life is shaped by the unintended consequences of human ambition. They're trapped in an endless loop, repeating the same routines, the same mistakes, and the same relationships without ever truly evolving or escaping their designated role. This isn't just character-driven storytelling. It's a reflection of their tragic origin. They're not evolving because their mutations keep them locked into specific behaviors, a haunting echo of the goals their creators had, but never achieved. Even the architecture of Bikini Bottom seems to hint at this dark past. Take a closer look at the town. It's a place filled with human artifacts that seem out of place in a natural ocean environment. It's as if the town was constructed from the remains of failed experiments. The Krusty Krab itself resembles a trap, something that might have once been a part of an underwater military installation, repurposed into a restaurant. So why does this theory resonate so deeply, and why is it so unsettling? It's because it taps into a universal fear, the consequences of unchecked ambition and control over nature. Bikini Bottom, through its bizarre and comedy lens, reflects the dangers of playing God with the natural world. The mutations, the abandoned projects, and the characters' endless loops serve as a reminder of the unforeseen costs of human experimentation gone wrong. Moreover, this theory transformed our beloved cartoon into something much more darker, about the aftermath of scientific misconduct. The residents of Bikini Bottom are living reminders of a past that their creators tried to erase, but couldn't. Each character is a living scar of an experiment that humanity would rather forget. As viewers, we're drawn to these characters because of their humor, their charm, and their simplicity. But beneath that surface lies a disturbing truth. SpongeBob's relentless positivity, Patrick's cluelessness,
Absolutely nothing.
Squidward's cynicism,
You're killing me, SpongeBob. You really are.
and Mr. Krabs' greed.
Hey, a penny!
Your luck just ran out!
Hey man, he's back! You're crushing my arm!
Unhand that penny or the arm comes off!
They're all amplified by mutations they endure. Each character's traits are not just quirky personality points, but scars of a darker origin. They are not evolving because their purpose, whatever it was meant to be, remains unfulfilled. Their true nature buried beneath layers of cheerful animation. Even the show's creators may have left clues about this grim backstory. Think of how often the theme of failure comes up. Plankton's constant failures, SpongeBob's inability to get his boating license, Squidward's failed attempts at art or music. It's as if the entire town is stuck in a loop of trying and failing over and over, mirroring the failed experiments that gave rise to them. And this is where the true horror of the theory lies. It's not just about mutated creatures, but about existential nightmare of being trapped in a role you can never escape, a life where change is impossible, and where the remains of human error dictate every aspect of your existence. existence. Bikini Bottom is a grim reminder of a past that its residents can never truly escape from. So next time you watch Spongebob, remember that what lies beneath the laughter is a far darker tale. Bikini Bottom isn't just a happy underwater town. It's the graveyard of a failed experiment where each laugh, each joke, and each episode is a glimpse into the unsettling consequences of a secret gone horribly wrong. But what do you guys think? Did you guys like the theory, or do you have any of your own? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked the video, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more amazing content. Until the next video.